Welcome back to the New Collector Challenge. Now, it hasn't even been 6 days since we launched this, but I've got a lot of updates for you guys. Now, if you're asking what the heck is the New Collector Challenge, check out the link video down below where I explain the kind of intro to it. But the long and the short of it is I'm starting off the year with $100 in my pocket and nothing else. And I'm going to see how much of a card business we can grow doing that. I think it's really fun to see and kind of put to the test what flipping cards can do to help fund the PC. My goal is versus funding my personal collection to buy cards for all of you as we start to kind of build and get some wins, which speaking of wins, let's talk about those. Now, in the last video, I showed off 5 cards that we bought to flip, and those cards have already sold. Let's jump on over into our Excel and show you guys the details on that. So here's a look at our Google Sheet for the New Collector Challenge. As you can see, we had 6 expenses here for the kind of launch of this. We needed bubble mailers because we're a new collector. We don't have all the things that I have for me and my card business, so we had to buy those. But more importantly, we had inventory. We bought 5 cards, and this was the price that we paid for all of those. Now, all of those cards got listed on eBay, and within 5 days, all of them sold. Here's the breakdown. The Otani All Aces sold for $18.24. We had $3 issued fees. We had to pay 69 cents in shipping, so we netted $14.49. The Shota and the Vlad, so the 2 nicer cards that I grabbed, actually sold in one deal. One person bought both of them. $138.79, big win there. $19.86 in fees, some shipping. All in all, we netted $114.55. So right there, we are already in the green, like 30 bucks. So doing solid. Then we had the Julio that we bought. That one sold for $29.54, $5.12 in fees, $4.54 in shipping, so netted just about 20 bucks there. And the Randy Rosarena, we also got $25 plus shipping basically, so also netted just under $20. So that brings us back to our total overview. Right now, we sold this Randy, that sold yesterday, so we don't have that, but that brings us back here now that we are super liquid. We've got $171.60 in available funds. So far on the year, we are up $71.60. That's pretty crazy to be up 71% in 6 days. Now, when this happens though, you have to go buy more inventory. And I've done that. I bought some new inventory, but I also want to talk about the thought process, where to buy inventory and some of that, because I think that as we go through this New Collector Challenge, talking through some of these things, talking through some of the thought processes, the logic, can help you if you are trying to either do this New Collector Challenge along with me, or if you're just looking to start a card business at any point here. So let's check out the inventory and talk about where and why I bought those. So before I show you guys this inventory, I want to talk briefly about different places to source inventory. Now, obviously the biggest marketplace, which we are selling most of our cards on right now, is eBay. Pros of eBay are that you have lots and lots of options in terms of cards. There are a couple of cons though. The first is you're going to have to pay sales tax unless you have yourself set up more formally as a business. Me, Clever Cuban Cards, I am set up that way, but for the New Collector Challenge, we are not, because I figured this is somebody who's just starting out. It's something you can go and do, but you're going to have to make yourself an LLC. You're going to need to file for sales tax exemption. It's a little more complicated than I think the average new collector would do, so we're not playing that game. Now, the challenge with sales tax is that it is cutting into your margins. Here in Nashville, our sales tax rate is 9.25%. So if I buy a card on eBay, I'm paying 109.25% of that comp that is actually created. And then when I sell that card on eBay, theoretically, well, that then therefore is going to get me 87% after eBay fees, realistically, which, oh my goodness, now we are down 20+%, or you need to make up a 20+% gap from what you bought it at to what you're able to sell it at. The other thing too is you then have created a comp. Now, if it's a more common card, one that sells multiple times a day, that may or may not matter. But if it's something low numbered like that Julio that had not comped in like a year plus, well, that one's tough, because if I had bought that card on eBay, somebody may have said, wait a minute, this card just sold for $5. I'm not going to pay $20 for it. So creating the comp can be a challenge. I think the best way to get deals on eBay is if you're buying on auctions that are ending. I tend to go for big consigners, DC Sports, PC Sports, MC Sports, all these different consigners, Probstein, etc. And the pro there is they have thousands of auctions that will end within a very short period of time with each other, which means that there's a ton of stuff that ends. I basically go through, sort them by new, and I just go say, hey, what's ending? And I just throw in a bid and see if I win it. Shoot my shot. Some things go for way under comp, some things go for way over, but just give it a shot and see what you're able to win. That's a great opportunity. Card shows, as I said, I wanted to go to a card show for my first opportunity to buy inventory for the new collector challenge. Unfortunately, got canceled because of snow here, so I went to my card shop, which again still works, but some of the downsides of sales tax there. But card shows are fantastic. We haven't had one of those, unfortunately. We've got one next weekend, so hopefully we can sell some of this inventory to then free up liquidity to then go buy more inventory. But card shows are great. No sales tax generally. You're able to get really good deals. That's my preferred way of buying cards. These cards, though, I bought somewhere different, and I'm going to talk about that while I show you them. So all in all, I bought myself 10 cards, and I bought all of these on Whatnot. Now, you guys know that my card business does very, very well on Whatnot, but you can also do very well selling on Whatnot as well as buying. So I'm going to show you guys these. I bought these in a room that was a large group. There was 50 plus people in the room. The key, though, they were running stuff super quick. I think it was 10-second sudden death auctions. So things went fast. There were tons of things that I bid on that I did not win. There were some of these I'm actually going to talk about that I think I overpaid a little bit, but that's part of the game. That's part of honing your knowledge. But the first one that we grabbed here, this Shohei Ohtani on the rookie debut. I'm going to throw up comps on the screen. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but right now we got this one for $12.02. That includes shipping and that includes taxes. So Ohtani, I remember this one. This one's like a $30 to $40 card raw. If we were to get a 10 on this would be like a $150 card roughly. So could potentially be a big one. We're going to look at this for grading at the end of the video. I'm going to run through these first though. The next one is this awesome Anthony Rizzo and Garrett Cole dual relic numbered out of 75. This one, pretty sure I overpaid on it. $12.02 as well. Throwing the comps up on the screen. Next was a lot here that I bought. So 2 cards, both for Tristan Casas. These 2 cards together were $4.37. So not each. So we're basically in these for like a little over $2 per card. You've got a blue Ray Wave. So great looking card. Nice color match for the Sox. And then a yellow Bowman Chrome out of 75. Figured low numbered color matches, things like that. At $2 a card, can't really go too wrong. Then the next one they grabbed, this awesome Bobby Witt on the green Sonar, numbered out of 99. Paid $12.02 on this one. Pretty solid win, I'm pretty sure, based on comps. One of the better ones of the day, the Ohtani Bowman's Best rookie. This is just the base card, but it's Ohtani. He sells really well. I mean, you saw the other Ohtani rookie that we grabbed. Thing we talked about in the first video, liquidity. Some of these guys, Casas, he's middle of the road liquidity-wise, but the prices were so good there that I was willing to take the shot on it. Ohtani, I was willing to pay $26 on this. Now, granted, this one sells for more, as you can see on the screen, but I bid closer to comps because I was willing to pay high on it because I knew that Ohtani would sell. Next one is this Tristan Casas. Now, this is the variation here. I paid $6.56 on this. This is generally in line with comps. There are some that go as high as $10, but generally it's a $6 to $7 card. So I thought it was nice. We'll see whether or not we're able to make something back on that. But sometimes you lose. That's a reality of the game. Especially when you're doing it through Whatnot, where you're not able to quickly look up those comps on a 10-second sudden death auction. Yachty at a $2.99 on the curtain call last game that he played. $4.37. Again, thought it was a pretty solid deal. This one I think is going to be our biggest win of the lot. I didn't even realize how good of a deal this was. Barry Bonds on the Power Players Refractor out of Topps Chrome. Now, it does have a little bit of a soft corner up here, so we'll have to note that when we sell it. But I paid $6.56 for this, and look at what some of these cards are selling for raw. So I was shocked on this. I have an Alex Rodriguez of this in my PC that was a $10 card. So I thought, at $6, I thought it was a solid deal. I didn't realize how solid of a deal it was. And then the last one that we grabbed is a graded card, actually. O'Neal Cruz on the PSA 10 X-Fractor. Now this one, we got it, I was thinking a really good deal. $21.85. So really, really solid there. If you add up all those numbers, it's going to be a grand total of just over $106 for these 10 cards. So basically we're going to do it for about $10 a card. Some of these I'm sure that will not sell for $10 a card, but others I know will sell for way more than that. So now we need to get listed these on eBay. However, as I mentioned, one of the ways that we can also make money in the challenge, knowing that we had $170 in liquidity, still leaves us with $65 left, is potentially grading some cards. So I'm going to grab some of these out and show you guys how I kind of look at these and what I look for when I'm considering potentially grading a card, because that's going to be a way to unlocking some more profits in this new collector challenge. Now, for the sake of video, I'm not going to do all of them. I'm actually going to look at just the 2 Otanis. I think these are going to be the most important ones. So first off, you're just trying to look at the surface, see if there's any indents, dings, things like that. It does unfortunately look like there is a little bit of a soft corner on this bottom here. It's not terrible. My guess is that this would probably 9 given that. Let's look at the back as well, just in case. Make sure there's no creases or anything like that. Yeah, that front corner here is, I think, the one unfortunate downside. You can kind of see it right there. So this one is one that I'm just going to opt to sell raw. You don't have to grade everything. As we mentioned on the Shota, I thought the Shota was a 10. We would have done very well on that had we graded it. But you don't necessarily need to grade everything. We were able to take a profit on the Shota, take the win, and move on to the next thing, which allowed us to grab this really nice lot here. Whereas had we tried to grade the Shota, we may have then been waiting for that card to come back from grading. Now let's look at the Bowman's Best as well. So is that a surface scuff? So we got to see if that were to wipe off something here as well on the surface. So we'll see if that wipes off. I'm going to try that off screen once I just check the back of this as well, because if there's a, indent or a corner issue, etc., then I would not even bother necessarily looking. It looks solid, so I'm going to try it and see whether or not, just with a microfiber towel, if that would wipe off. So with just a little microfiber, again, just a little pressure and just wiping it down, those marks actually did come off. So that's a win for us. This is one that I'm going to seriously consider whether or not we grade it, because as a higher grade, this would sell very, very well. Now, you've got to factor in the time and all this and that, which we're going to actually have a video on that later on the page, talking about PSA versus SGC, but this one I think potentially could be worth it. We know that the Barry Bonds has the soft corner on the back, so that's not really a fit. Not going to grade the thicker card. Casas, this is a cheap card. Same with this one. I wouldn't really consider grading those. The Wit could potentially be one, but I think it's a little too off-center. If you look at it left to right here, like there's much less border on this end versus this end. So to me, it's just not worth the risk of grading it when you're having to hold on to it for so long. I think we've got one that we might play with, but other than that, I'm going to log these into the Excel spreadsheet, and then we've got, another $70 that we can play with in terms of grading, in terms of buying more inventory, things like that. So I'm going to have more updates on the new collector challenge here. I hope you guys enjoy this series. I'm planning to do more updates, videos. I'm also trying to take, as I said, the educational approach, because I think that showing you how I'm doing it is a really powerful way to learn how to do it yourself. So it's really, really fun. Love grabbing these lots. Love seeing how much we're able to build it. And hopefully soon we're going to be able to buy you guys some cards for your PC. Now, quickly before we wrap up here, I got some questions last time that I did want to talk about, which was a lot of people asked, well, can you link to the eBay page? My answer to that is no, because I don't want to take advantage of my brand and the fact that you guys are seeing this content to then go buy these cards. Now, I know there are going to be some people who will watch the video and say, hey, Bobby Witt Green Sonar, that's a numbered card. There's not going to be that many of them out there. And they may be able to find the page. And that's just a part of the reality of documenting this as we go through it. But it's the pros and cons. I think that documenting it is important. I know that it may lead to maybe a little bit easier for job selling the cards, but at the end of the day, it takes time for stuff to sell. If you buy the right stuff, it will sell. So I think that that's really important. As I said as well, I want to hear from you guys. I'm trying to make this educational, trying to make this accessible so that anybody can see that you can use the hobby to fund the hobby. So if there's any topics or things like that that you'd love me to cover or incorporate into the new collector challenge, let me know. When we get more cards in and bigger lots, and as we start to grow and scale and we're doing bigger grading submissions, I know when I have written down that I want to do a video on just preparing and evaluating if cards are worth grading. I know we did a little bit here with a few of those Otanis, but there's not enough volume here that it's really a full submission. I'm probably going to just drop this one at my local card shop and let them send it out. That way I don't have to pay for shipping or any of that jazz. Just let it be and see how that goes. But definitely want to have some more on grading, because I know that that's a really good way to unlock profits. But also, as I said, you don't have to grade cards in order to unlock those profits. It's a good way, but it's not the only way. Flipping, buying good lots, buying things at a good deal is always a good thing. Finding the right marketplaces, as I said, these were really good deals from Whatnot, but you can find good deals anywhere. It's all about training your eye, and the only way that you're going to do that is by doing it. You're going to take some losses, like I did and like I expect to on, the dual relic here. I think I'm probably going to break even at best on that card. I'm going to list it a little higher than that, but I don't anticipate necessarily being able to get that. Or the Casas variation. Again, one that I probably overpaid a little bit on, but the only way that you learn and are able to hone that skill of figuring out what a card is worth and whether or not you're able to make some profit on it is by doing it. So I implore and challenge you, as I'm doing this challenge, if you would like to use the hobby to fund the hobby, grow a card business, whether it be to just buy more cards or have a little side hustle that helps for other things in life, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. You can start it, as I said, with very little. I mean, $100 is a lot of money to some people, is not a lot to others, but you can start it with as little as $1. The more money that you start with, the easier it's going to be because you are able to then go do more, buy more, etc. Buying in bulk makes a big difference a lot of times, especially at card shows. But give it a go. If you've only got $1, you can also get started. Go buy a card in a dollar box at a show, see if you can sell it for $2 or $3. And you got $3, you can go buy $3 cards and so on and so on. It's a grind. It takes a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the content here. I've really been trying to do a lot. Definitely have more planned for the New Collector Challenge, so make sure to subscribe, follow along for that. I'm really, really excited to see where this goes, and we're off to an incredible start. As always, appreciate you guys checking out the video, liking, subscribing, following, all that jazz. Appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one.